Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and I feel like I've done this already. We've done it for the indie review, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Well, we're going for two for tonight. Welcome to the Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. That's right, guys, the big two. We got a nice amount of books. We're going to jump right into them. These books were released on January 29th, 2014. We're starting with Marvel, and I couldn't put Marvel in any order this week because basically every book I read was pretty good. And we have Guardians of the Galaxy issue 11 Point Now. Now, in the last issue of All New X-Men, we got to see the All New X-Men side of the crossover, the first part.
Yep.
In this first part of the crossover, my concern was it says Trial of Jean Grey #1. And it's like, no, this is #2, because you'd think that they were going to follow directly after what happened in All New X-Men. No, they're not. So the #1 actually now makes sense now that I've read the book. Basically, in All New X-Men, we saw what they were doing. Now, in Guardians of the Galaxy, we're watching what they're doing. So Tony Stark in this book officially resigns. Important point, and he does mention there are certain, a couple, meaning two, candidates that he feels would be a good fit for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, obviously, we'll see them later on in the series. Peter Quill is relaxing in a bar. The Spartax army is still looking for him, but now they're looking for Thanos, so he feels his father just doesn't want to be bothered looking for him anymore. However, his father still does. As a matter of fact, he's sending hitmen after him now. He gets screwed over by a Skrull, and then we go into the Council of Galaxies again, where I hate Jason. I'm sorry, he is such a... Anyway, it turns out the Shire found out that Jean Grey was brought back from the future to the present, and they want to try her for all the things she's going to do, or she has done in their past already, but she hasn't done in her life yet. So, the Guardians of the Galaxy get wind of that. After a long story short, we have Gamora and... wow, why is the name completely... Gamora and...
Go to the index.
There is no index.
There is none? I thought that they put index in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, anyway, it's Gamora and Angela, and they bump into the Skrull who is taking Peter Quill in, I guess, back to her to his father. They catch her, or him, or whatever the Skrull is, and Angela just slices her head off. And they end up back in the ship. Like I said, they hear about the whole trial of Jean Grey, so they decide, okay, we're going to go to Earth and protect Jean Grey. But they show up a bit late. And the last page is the exact last page we got in the All New X-Men. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh shit, we're late, aren't we? Awesome issue. Love the artwork, love the story. It was basically a nice setup for what's to come in Handsome Tony Stark. It's a nice setup for the trial of Jean Grey. Again, we get to see another side of what was going on. I like that, especially because this was a #1. I was trying to work out in my head how this is part 2 of the story if it's getting a #1, and honestly, it's not. It's part 1. Basically, the first part of the trial of Jean Grey is divided between what's happening in the All New X-Men and what's happening in Guardians of the Galaxy. So they've come together now. So from, I guess, the next issues on, it's going to continue forward the story one after the other instead of one point of view from the other. Cataclysm, The Ultimate's Last Stand, issue #4. Cover is misleading. A lot of people actually. There was
really?
Yeah, it's not Captain America that dies. Nice hype though. So the Ultimates are looking for Kitty Pryde, and we all know that when they come back, the Ultimate Universe returns. Kitty Pryde is going to be a main focal point with the Ultimates. Basically, they want Kitty Pryde to go on a suicide mission. They're going to inject her or give her the Pym particles to make her grow, and then they want her to fight Galactus and destroy his machines by using her phase powers. That's the long story of what happened in the beginning. No Spider-Man in this issue. Tony Stark is shocked to see Jean Grey, and he has a Cerebro actually on the carrier, and he wants Jean to go into Galactus's brain and see what he's thinking, what's going on. He detects her. He attacks the ship, and about 3 different characters are in predicaments where their lives could be potentially over. And I guess we won't find out until the next issue which of those characters. One being Captain America, one being Storm, I believe. One being, not Storm, Sue Storm. There were several characters that were left kind of...
Whoa.
Yeah,
empty. That's very distracting.
So we don't know which character died, if any of them actually died, to be honest.
Nothing.
Okay. So that's the very short version of this. I feel like this story arc though is going pretty fast. I mean, it's at the end of this month. We're done with Cataclysm, and then we don't see the Ultimate Comics
series
for
about a month or 2 run already. Cataclysm.
It's been about 2 months now. Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 months. So.
I just feel like it's been a fast read thus far.
I mean, same with Revolutionary War.
Well, since you're talking about Revolutionary
War, since we're talking about that, Revolutionary War, Knights of Pendragon, one shot. So in this issue, it talks about the characters you see in front of the comic book. With it starts off with Day Thomas and Kate McClellan, who are basically ex-Knights of the Pendragon, who are going on an investigation in the cave, whereas Union Jack and Pete Wisdom are going off into the city, going up against a Mystex resurrection. Here's some artwork right here, which is amazing. And they just want to try to find a way to get rid of the Mystex that's basically taking over the whole city and basically destroying everything in chaos. And they meet with Albanian, who is this old man right here, and he is saying that the knights are dead because of all that's going on, where in comes in the character right here, I can't remember, Zombie King Arthur, I believe his name is, because he has a sword, so King Arthur, and they have a fight with a true knight that comes in the picture. I don't think we get his name. Unless that's it's Di Thomason's spirit, because his spirit can go on into another body, so I just remember that. And there's just like a whole bunch of fights, and Abalon lives as well when he comes back to fight. And Pete Wisdom really does a great role in this, where he gets this guy to come in, which actually is due to the sword, because King Arthur wanted his sword, and he actually heals Di Thomas because of him being dead. And for once, the good guys win. The bad guys do not own the good guys, so that's what I like about this comic book for once. And that's the end. So now next will be Death's Head 2 in Revolutionary War.
Right?
In Revolutionary War. Oh yeah, and there's a checklist on the bottom. You want to show them?
So wait, we have.
So we have basically 5 more issues until March 26th. Yeah, there's a big checklist back here of all the Revolutionary War.
So where's the Pendragon number 2?
There's no number 2. There's a one-shot. No, I thought there was a second one, but when I looked it over again, I saw 2, and I thought it meant that, but apparently I forgot to read numbers that happened before 2. But all in all, I mean, it wasn't one shot. Maybe I thought I tricked you. But really great issue. For once, good guys win, and something good happened. So really recommended to check that out.
Night of the Living Deadpool issue 2. Things get worse in this issue. Basically, Deadpool's alive, or he's saved by these 2 kids, a soldier, and an old woman driving a car.
There's no staple that came out of it?
No, this time no staple. So the whole world is black and white, except for, of course, Deadpool. And by the end of this book, every single person he's traveled with will, unfortunately, meet their timely end. But we all kind of called that, since it is a zombie book. He did get it looks like he got bit, but the bite healed.
Well, he has a healing factor.
Right. So
why.
I guess it doesn't change who he is. Like it doesn't change him into a zombie. And then he finds this village off near a river, and the people are surviving. Like the world is basically like nothing's going on in the world around them, surviving the zombie apocalypse. Then they meet up with he meets up with these old people who are outside. And they're like, "Yeah, we're here to see the town too, so we could destroy it." And I love the last panel. He's like, "Nut jobs. Why does it always have to be nut jobs?"
Yeah, that's DeadPool.
And there were definitely pokes at several different zombie zombie movies, with the Mall, which is Resident Evil, the Farmhouse, and the Institute. Definitely for
What?
oh god, The Walking Dead. The the Wooden Cabin. Definitely something from oh god, not
Cabin.
no, Evil Dead.
Oh.
A few here, there, and everywhere, but in the end they end up staying in the woods, and that's where everything kind of goes wrong. It's a nice series. If you're interested in reading DeadPool in a zombie-esque kind of book without it being Marvel Zombies, this is definitely a book for you. It's just one of those guilty pleasure books. I mean, you don't have to buy it to enjoy DeadPool, but at the same time, I'm buying it because I like the title, and the book actually is very satisfying for me.
Let's hope the ending will be satisfying as well.
Let's hope, exactly.
Yeah. Thunderbolts issue number 21. The Thunderbolts team are in hell, and they want to try to figure out a way of how to get out.
Good luck.
And from what we saw from the last issue, remember that symbol that the Hulk had? It's actually known as Hell's Mark.
Yeah, we found that out during the Venom series. I talked about this.
I was just saying that. So I'll show you some artwork here, which is really drawn nicely. So the artwork is still staying strong. And so they're just running into these mystical things that are attacking them, such as Ross's mustache, which is what it looked like. And then, there's just lots of strange things that happen. And with the Hell's Mark, summons Mephisto. And he's the CEO of the Hell. Then we get Punisher and Elektra, which is a little bit comical in some ways, where like Punisher's clean his guns and Elektra knows her ways around of how to get the Punisher on his A game. So Mephisto, we find out, is no longer head of Hell anymore. And he has been defeated by a pretender. And I'm going to tell you who it is at the end of this chapter.
And
which
this
actually,
is why Michael's starting to like this series.
shocked me, but I'll get to that. So Stearns makes an agreement that he wants to propose, saying that you bring Mercy into Hell, and in exchange, we destroy the current king of Hell and put you back on your throne. In return of that. Like, basically, they'll kill the king, in return Mercy goes to Hell, is what I meant. Always get tongue twisted there, my apologies. So, Punisher and Elektra are going to this place where her guy, well, she calls him my guy, actually told them to go to. And it could be a dead end. And Mercy comes in, where she's looking for Samuel Stearns and Ross, because Elektra actually was actually behind all this.
Wow.
With Venom, said, it is what you wanted. I killed those people for you.
Whoa.
So, So, here comes this part. Who is the pretender of Hell? Guido from X Factor.
So this kind of ties into what happened with X Factor.
Right, because if those of you read Hell's on Earth in X Factor, Guido is the king. And I was looking, I'm saying, oh yeah, I just remember, saying, who took over Mephisto? And then I'm thinking, it had to be somebody. I didn't know it was going to be connected to X Factor. So see, Thunderbolts, if you stick to that, that's where you'll get me interested. So keep doing that, and I will buy more comic books.
Good.
So that's
Superior Spider-Man 26. This is the prelude to Goblin Nation. This is the final War of the Goblins part. Hobgoblin versus Green Goblin. So many hints are dropped in this book. I have a prediction of who I believe Green Goblin is, but I'm not going to say it just yet. Avengers step in and they want to bring Spider-Man in to find out what exactly is going on. And then we get inside Peter Parker's mind and we get to see Pete. Pete is finally back. However, remember when we went into the mind, when Doc Ock went into Peter Parker's mind the first time? It was a gigantic city with tons and tons of memories. Yeah, well, Doc Ock basically erased everything. I told you, when Peter Parker comes back, he's going to have only certain memories and the rest is going to be completely blank. Everything's gone except for key memories that he shares with Doc Ock. Other than that, Peter Parker lost 90% of his memories.
Wow.
So when Peter Parker does come back, there's your twist, and probably more. So, outside of Doc Ock's mind, we still have the fight going on between the two goblins. Green Goblin, or the Goblin King, makes it personally, says, I want to fight you one-on-one, winner take all. Avengers want to do another brain scan on Spidey, even if it's through a psychic, because they're questioning him, and basically he's on probation with the Avengers now. I do like how they showed this. I was actually talking about this scene in the Spider-Man books when
he lifted up
the debris in his own mind,
yeah.
and he's like, you know what? I remember. I don't give up. And he's like, I'm gonna find a way back. Then through the fight, there's a little hint showing that Green Goblin might be Norman Osborn, but I still don't think he's Norman Osborn. I think Green Goblin's somebody completely different.
They're just trying to trick you, probably. But don't you think maybe it is Norman Osborn in resurrected state?
No. Then Doc Ock, Spidey, basically, before any test begins, says, you know what? You think you have the right to meddle in my affairs because I'm an Avenger? Fine. I quit. Spider-Man quits the Avengers. So that's the end of that.
Yeah, that's Doc Ock, Spider-Man.
Hobgoblin dies, and then guess what? It wasn't Hobgoblin either. Where's the real Hobgoblin? Check out this book and find out, because they tell you in the last page what happened to the real Hobgoblin.
And what about Carly?
She wasn't in this issue.
Oh, not at all?
No, just Peter Parker inside his own mind.
Unless they're trying to work the way out.
It was worth it to see Peter Parker in his own mind again. I mean, it's good to see him back. I mean, now this is all leading into the end of Goblin Nation.
Yeah, but now he erased 90% of Peter Parker's memory.
So when Peter Parker comes back, he's going to be like, I don't remember this. I don't remember that.
Oh, I don't remember quitting Avengers, yeah. Oh.
No, not that. His past memories, like MJ and everything else, they're all gone.
That's going to be something when he comes back.
Alright, we have time, so we're going to jump into some DC books. Let's get into the digital first books before we get into the mainstream books. Okay, we had an annual week this week from DC Comics, so of course with every annual week comes another Smallville Season 11 special standalone episode, and that is Smallville Season 11 special number 4, which is Titans. Jay Garrick is training the Teen Titans, and the team is anything but ready to protect and serve, and they actually screw up on their first mission in the book, and the mission they're at in the very beginning of the book. And Superboy and Jay absolutely clash heads a lot. We have Rose, who wants to destroy all the superheroed heroes, and
wait, she wants to destroy superhero heroes, and why is she on the superhero team?
She wants to destroy them because of what Clark did to her father during, if you remember, Wade Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Those superheroes. I thought you meant, okay, I got it.
So, the team is having a hard time. They're struggling, to work as a team, and we get a little insight here, there, and everywhere from all the characters. Superboy and the Martian Manhunter, the girl, I forgot her name. Her name always escapes me. She's from Young Justice, too.
Jonah.
No.
That was just a joke.
Miss Martian, whatever. You see that there's a romance going on between them, just like in Young Justice. Then Rose attacks the Titans, and in the end, of course, as you guys probably figured out, Superboy, Jay figured Superboy wears the S, so he's going to be the one that they look to, the team, for leadership, and he actually finds a way to lead the team in the end, and they incarcerate Rose. Then we get a little bit of Superman at the very end talking with Superboy. and how he's going to go talk to the president about being an alien, because we already saw that issue or read that issue. And I left out a bunch of stuff. This was a huge book. There was a lot of dialogue and a lot of stuff going on, but basically that's the gist of it. This came out about 2 months ago. I believe there's already another special that they're just about ready to finish for the digital first Smallville. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But love this issue. I know Jay talked about this for a long time, so I was very excited to see this book and to read it, and it was really awesome. The One True Superman book, Adventures of Superman issue number 9. Bizarro is the opposite of Superman, but Superman wants to try to fix that, and he goes to where? Emil Hamilton and Star Labs, and lo and behold, Emil Hamilton finds a way to cure Brainiac from being the opposite of Superman, and he actually talks normally. Yeah.
You said Brainiac.
Sorry, Bizarro. He actually talks normal too. So nice to finally meet you properly, Superman. I hope we'll be great friends.
Oh, so he doesn't say we be friends.
No. Basically, Emil Hamilton fixed him. But, you know, now that he's fixed, he wants to work with Superman and, you know, be a superhero. But the people remember him as the monster mess-up that he was. And he's hearing all these people going, that monster almost killed this person. You can't just cure crazy. And Bizarro, you know, his feelings get hurt. And then throughout the rest of the issue, you know, he's like, I hear all these bad things happening and all these people dying and the fighting and everything. How do you block it out? And you get a Superman and Jonathan Kent moment. You know, Superman explains to Bizarro what his father said to him. But then you see Bizarro starting to screw up a little bit. And it turns out the medicine that Emil gave him is starting to stop. It's not working as well anymore. It's starting to break apart. And that's basically because Bizarro doesn't want to have his mind thinking correctly anymore. Basically, it's psychic. It's in his mind. So psychologically, he just doesn't want to be that way anymore.
Well, really mentally, if you want to take it in those terms of what looks
and then Bizarro's like, why don't you just kill me? He gets so upset that, you know, he's going back to the way he was. Basically, the people of Earth can't accept him. So he gets into this huge fight with, not a huge fight, a small fight with Superman. He's like, why won't you kill me? You know, I'm never going to change. I'm never going to be anything. And then Superman comes up with a plan, and thus the Bizarro world is created along with Bizarra. I love this issue so much. This is real Superman here, guys. Only problem I'm worried about is that New 52 Superman is going to be in April's issue, so I hope that's only a one-issue shot, and then we go back to the classic Superman, because these are the stories that keep me going, guys. I love this series so much. And I don't want to see it go down the New 52 route. Some disappointing books, so this one, when we come back from our commercial break, it won't be so bad. Catwoman number 27. Why did I pick this up? I mean, I think myself, Mike, and Jay, we were expecting something, or me and Mike at least, we're expecting, not you, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
We're expecting something that, of Capper, we were expecting something different, something big, and then what we realized, the only thing that I realized, and I know that he realized, was, sorry about that, guys, once again, 2 reviews in one night. Camera can only hold 1, so we had to switch cameras because the other one died mid sentence. I was talking about Catwoman, so I realized I bought Catwoman. I'm not buying the next issue for Gothtopia. I don't even know what possessed me. It was Catbird. That was the only reason why. Basically, there was some internal dialogue between Catbird versus Catwoman. Catwoman was trying to snap herself out of the drug, so to speak. And in the end, basically, she gets snapped out of it, but not by the drug, but by somebody else who knows her. And he's like, wake up. Gotham is not the Gothtopia you think it is. And then Catwoman sees Gotham for what it really is. Once again, it had to be Catbird, because I would never pick up a Catwoman. I couldn't believe it. I actually thought about it. I'm like, wait a minute. I just bought a Catwoman book. Another disappointment is Teen Titans 27. It continues to bury Kid Flash even further and further down into the dirt, into the ground, where I don't even think he's coming back with the Teen Titans when they come back to the present. Basically, now Bart has all of his memories back. Yippee. And now he doesn't regret anything that he did. He gets brought on trial, and basically he had this whole dark scheme or a dark plan set up.
Ooh, that's a nice page. Like very realistic.
Yeah, and his people come to free him and to basically kill all of the council and the... Oh god, what were they called? Basically all the heads. So the Resistance comes in, rescues, frees Bart, and then you think Bart's gonna be like, you know, he's gonna want to defend the Teen Titans. Nope. His words exactly. He tells the Titans to get out of his way. Robin says no, and he's like, there's a very, 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 very small part of me that is sorry to hear that. And he's like, he tells them basically, kill them. So Bart isn't exactly who he was anymore. I'm disappointing. I mean, they just continue to bury Kid Flash, but it doesn't matter anyway. Teen Titans is going to be ending in April because the Green Team, spoiler alert, I did not get the book this week, so I'm going to just say it here, the Green Team basically bought the Teen Titans, just like what happened with X Factor, where their name was bought. Green Team bought the title Teen Titans, so if the Titans do come back, they're going to either be called Titans, or New Titans, or just Young Justice.
Or New Teen Titans. Well, yeah, Young Justice actually would make sense.
Superman 27, man, after... I mean, you would think that they've been fixing Superman, and they bring him right back to the way he was. His personality is disgusting, and I called it. Parasite sucked out so much of Lois's psionic powers that A, she doesn't have them anymore, and B, she doesn't remember that Clark Kent is Superman. And we also have Morgan Edge, who wants to buy Cat, Clark, Ropolis, because they broke a story about Sam Lane, which was one of the biggest stories. They basically scooped the Daily News, the Daily Planet, and they still wanted, so he basically wants to buy him out for $1 million. Will Cat Grant sell? We'll find out in the next issue. Then there's a part here where Superman's like, maybe I should let Parasite suck the rest of the psionic powers out of Lois. So he's willing to risk his, and he actually says, I don't believe... He's like, I don't believe I was actually willing to risk my best friend's life just so that she wouldn't remember who I was.
Wait a minute. He just said maybe I should let...
Yep. And then when Jonathan, Lois's boyfriend, asks, you know, what exactly is this? You know, you let him do this? Why? What's going on? And he's like, I fought the Parasite before. I know how his powers work. I don't have to explain myself to you. And he walks off.
Oh.
Lois wakes up, though. And,
man,
he doesn't remember a thing.
Also.
I despise Superman's personality sometimes.
Why are they making him such a jerk?
It's the new 52.
Yeah, but not to make Superman... Well, then again, they're doing to what you just said before. And
so I wasn't too much of a fan of this. Hopefully in Superman 28 we'll get a different story, and Superman will actually have a good personality. Alright. Guys, we'll be right back. We're going to take a commercial break. I know we just came back with the new camera, but we're going to keep it together. We're not going to do the commercial in between, so we're going to do the commercial now. Come back and finish off DC Comics, so stay tuned, and we will be right back after this commercial break. Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. Next up is Larfleez issue number 7, and now I see why this series is ending. So Larfleez, in this entire issue, all he's doing is searching for his butler. He comes face to face with the Wanderer's sisters, and he beats them both up. And they get upset, and the Lord of the Hound is back, so basically this story is coming full circle now. Because now the Lord of the Hunt basically wants to, find Larfleez and make him suffer for what he did to him at the way beginning of this series. So, basically, long story short, the family's going to have council with all of them are going to have council together, and then they're going to figure out what they're going to do with Larfleez. or what's gonna have, what they're planning to do to Larfleez, and that's where it's to be continued. That's how short this issue was. It was literally a lot of dialogue, a lot of fighting, a lot of mind nonsense, and basically that's the main plot of this entire story, was that. So I'm going to stick with Larfleez all the way till the end because I've stuck with it for 7 issues, but man, now I can understand why they're ending it.
All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex issue number 27. Jonah Hex meets with Superman. And unlike
that could go very well.
Well, a little bit. And unlike the Superman you saw with a bad personality, this Superman has a good personality.
Well, go figure.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends who writes him.
Yeah. So there's some artwork of Jonah Hex when he meets with Superman. And, you know, he just tells him, like, you know, who he is and, you know, that he flies. And he talks about a story about his planet Krypton, how it exploded and everything. Like, basically, they just exchange stories with each other. So he's trying to tell Superman that he's trying to get back to his own time. And he's, like, saying, you know, nothing's easy. Like, you know, I know this is a complicated world. Like, he's just telling him the world is the way it is. And Jonah Hex is being such a jerk to him, like, saying, you know, oh, that's just nonsense and everything. Like he doesn't believe he's really a superhero, but he is, actually, from what he tells him. And then he says that Constantine told him about the House of Mystery because he's looking for that to get back to his own time zone. And after that, we don't see Superman anymore. Him and Gina go to the Metropolis Museum. And in the Metropolis Museum is the Jonah Hex exhibition room. Of himself, of all the things that he did and everything. Like, they see the hammer, the knife thing that he had, the face full of violence where, you know, he had, he was like a bloodthirsty killer of men and occasionally the women as well, but, and there was like a whole big story, remember, about the girl with the eye patch that we saw, and even this part right here, this part just really got to him. By the way, the artwork is nicely drawn. And it's like saying, that's not me, that's just, you know, I've seen enough, so I'm just leaving. So he leaves Gina behind, and she didn't realize that they would have a display of that, or else she would never bring him there. So meanwhile, he goes into the bar, and when he drives, well, let's just say, after he drives away on his motorcycle, things may be death row for All-Star Western. So this comic book was really good. It has its interesting points, so I definitely say check it out. I'm really glad All-Star Western's actually picking up and being a very good issue for me to read.
The Flash issue number 27. Flash starts off with Flash versus, I forgot who the 2 villains were, but they pull off this heist and they steal diamonds and they're fighting amongst each other about who gets the cut. One wants to divide the diamonds up right there and the other one says let's escape first. Flash shows up, beats both of them. One of them is a molten magma. I wish I knew the names of this.
Chroma.
Oh, Chroma and Tarpit. Chroma actually has the ability to shoot off rainbow light beams.
Okay.
And Tarpit basically is exactly what he said. He's a lump of tar and he can melt down into the earth. So he starts to melt away and disappear because Flash caught Chroma, but Flash stops him. But he melts down far enough that he uncovers a gravesite. And this all leads into possibly Wally, Barry, not Wally, I wish. I keep thinking Wally because everybody's asking me about Wally. Barry finding out this might all have a connection to the death of his mother. He actually goes to his father and talks to him about it. He's like, I might have actually finally found the person that killed Mom. I can finally prove you're innocent. He's like, stop, don't do this. And he continues to explain on and on. He's like, I said I don't want to hear it. And he walks away. He actually goes back to his cell. The person who did the initial killings' name was Hollis, I forgot his last name.
Lopez?
No. But he had an accomplice, because when Hollis was put in jail, that's when the other people were sent to, were found dead. They died after Hollis was put in jail, and Hollis knows exactly who the person was that was killing them. And he tries to kill himself so as not to tell Flash who that person was. Bit of a fight breaks out in the prison, and then Hollis finally drops a name at the very end. Archibald Dillon. So Barry actually goes to the head of the department and tries to get permission to dig up the guy's body and try to match the DNA to what's going on, and he won't let him do it. And he actually explains, you know, I'm more than just I was more than just friends with your mother. We were very, very close. And Barry's like, goodbye. And then I'm leaving the ending out, but let's just say Barry, as the Flash, does visit the grave, and let's just say there wasn't a corpse there, number one, and number two, he was met by somebody else. We'll find out more in the next issue.
Yep.
Batman, Damian, Son of Batman, issue 404. I believe this last issue ended perfectly. You had Damian versus the Joker, the new Joker, and his gang, and the stakes are he wins, he saves his dad, he loses, everybody dies. And in the end, he won. And he beat Joker. Joker's like, you know what, you people, you bats have a fetish. You'll never kill one of us. And Damian still, even after that, he does a couple more moves to him, but in the end, still doesn't kill the Joker. However, there is somebody that does kill the Joker, and this could be leading into a future story arc, so shade away for a couple of seconds when I show this. The original Joker shows up in the end. He's like, you know what? I'm back in town, and there ain't no room for pretenders. So now that Batman's back, now that Damian is the new Batman, crime has gone up, especially because of word that the original Joker's back. All of Gotham's going to hell, so it's up to Damian to protect and serve Gotham as Batman. And that's exactly what he does. That's the long and short of it. I thought the artwork in this book was spectacular. The book ended perfectly. However, the book does leave an opening for a Volume 2 of Damian, Son of Batman, should they ever want to return to this series to do another mini-series. There is definitely a wide open door for a sequel. However, it was an average read altogether. The two middle books, The first book was really good, and this book ended the series very well. So, all in all, an average read, something I'd definitely say to give a check out if you have the chance. Next, an annual. Green Lantern Corps, issue, annual number 2. So, did I drop this book, or did I like it? Unfortunately, I did not. I will not be dropping Green Lantern Corps. This book connects, though,
Really?
Let me explain. This book connects what's been going on in Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps. So if you're reading Green Lantern, you needed this book, and if you're reading Green Lantern Corps, you needed this book. So in a way, this kind of continued the Green Lantern story arc as well. So it's basically the end of Act 1 with the Durlans and their people, the people that are fighting alongside them, versus the Green Lanterns. John Stewart and the other Green Lanterns out in space get captured. Hal Jordan is on Mogo, and he's fighting to protect the Corps and to put an end to whatever's going on. Superman even shows up for a page, which was weirdly interesting. But Hal Jordan basically, he doesn't know what, he's trying to figure out what's going on. He brings down all the ships. He has Mogo use his gravity to bring all the ships down that were attacking him. And it turns out in the ship, one of the ships was the Green Lanterns whose rings were drained because the people working with the Durlans studied Relic's technology and amplified it. But they didn't want to kill the Green Lantern Corps. They wanted to actually send them back broken. But turns out, and like you see on the cover here, the people who were villains to the Corps at one time now are teaming up with them because they trust the Corps more than they trust the Durlans. So in the end, Hal Jordan actually has them joining up with the Green Lantern Corps to put an end to the Durlans once and for all. Also, we find out that the Guardians had a Durlan as a secret operative, but they forgot about him, and I believe this connects to what we saw in New Guardians. And that operative was Von Dangle. But the Guardians have long forgot about Von Dangle. So everybody get ready for Act 2. Because in Green Lantern Corps, they're going to be going off to look for Von Dangle. And I have no idea what they're going to be doing in Green Lantern yet. So we'll see where the next issue of Green Lantern Corps goes. If it's not a way where it's going to keep me interested, I'm probably going to end up dropping the book. But a good Lantern book is Red Lantern issue 27. So Bleez and Rancor, Bleez wants to go find where Ratchet's ring went. She wants to make sure that whoever gets the ring is well deserving of it. It connects a lot to the last issue. The people that the Red Lantern saved, they actually made statues of them on Yasmal. I believe that's the planet. I want to make sure. Yeah. Guy Gardner now has a new look, longer hair and a mustache.
What a good look.
That'll start showing up in the next issue, I believe, of Red Lanterns. So Bleez and Rancor go after Ratchet's ring to see who got that. And Rancor is enjoying basically everything. Hal Jordan, who else? Vaz and I forgot the other guy, go to Earth. Basically, how he has a unfinished business he wants to take care of with Ice. He wants to try to rekindle that fire, and actually, the first time he sees her, she opens the door and blasts him with ice, which I thought was awesome. For those of you that want more on this relationship, you can check out Justice League International. But he's trying to explain to her he's no longer a Green Lantern where willpower was what powered their ring. He's now a Red Lantern where rage powers his ring. She's like, this isn't helping your argument. The problem was your anger. He's like, no, but the ring allows me to control myself now. Shadow Thief actually makes an appearance in this book.
Shadow Thief.
And she doesn't like Vaz and the other guy. Oh god, what were
She's
their
been
names?
appearing a lot in some of the DC issues. Have you noticed that? Shadow Thief?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they want to get her character known. Ever since Villains Month, she's been known.
One line kind of made me laugh, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
Oh.
But it basically pissed off Shadow Thief, and basically a fight broke out. We have Guy still trying to make amends with Ice, trying to get connect with her, and now his people are in trouble, and he says, Ice, come along, you know, I promise I'm not going to fight. We're going to actually diplomatically handle, I'll diplomatically handle everything. I'm going to prove that I'm not solving a problem with my fist. And boy, does he not know what he's getting himself into. And then the last page, the last page I'm saving for the double-sized issue. But let's just say Bleez and Rancor find out where the ring, where Ratchet's ring went, and they find somebody else at that very location
too. Get through.
No. Next annual, Batman and Robin, issue number 2. Basically, this is the first week Dick Grayson was Robin, and how at first Batman didn't want him because Dick didn't listen to his instructions, to Batman's instructions.
Oh, I love that page.
So Batman basically said, you're done, we're done, I don't need a partner, and Dick tries his hardest to try to fix, you know, to try to get Batman and Bruce to take him back out again. I love how Alfred has a very stern, straight face. And basically the flashback is Nightwing telling Bruce the story of his first week as Robin, because Bruce was curious why Damian has a box that's labeled for Dick. And Dick's like, I'll tell you exactly how I said the story. And he explained the whole story where basically Batman told him, you can't be Robin. He tries to basically plead with Batman, it doesn't work, so Robin's like, screw this. He goes off on his own. Tries to go fight, what's his name? It was mentioned. Here, I believe. Tusk. This guy's Tusk. And we also find out that Tusk has a personal vendetta against all Robins because basically Dick Grayson Robin is the one that screwed over Tusk in the end and freed Batman and himself and foiled Tusk's plans. So first time ever in Gotham, Robin's the one that is the most hated against this guy more than Batman. And Damian's present to Dick. Basically, he found Tusk and he took the other Tusk because Dick broke the first Tusk off of Tusk. The during his first week
now
as
he
Robin.
broke the other tusk to make 2.
And they make a toast to Damian, still proving he was the best Robin.
Wow.
It was a very heartfelt issue, and it was an awesome issue to see Dick back in the Robin suit, you know, even though it was during the first week he was Robin. Wow, it was just spectacular to read that book. This was an awesome read. My top, part of my top 2 annuals. This is my second favorite annual. My first one will come up after we get through some Forever Evil, and these 2 books are yours.
Forever Evil Blight.
One at a time, of course.
Forever Evil Blight, Justice League Dark, number 27, was my book of the week. They have finally set their story in a straight line. Like, not going totally off topic. So, this is where Angel Zarel, along with those, are fighting Blight. You know, along with John Constantine, Nightmare Nurse, Sea King, who is Dead Man, and Swamp Thing, because they presume Pandora and Fam Stranger to be dead, where they're in another world, where Angel Zarel now was also killed, eaten by Blight. And they say that they know why, how Chris is still being possessed by Blight. They have to basically take him out of Blight's heart.
Yeah, because he's basically inside of it.
He's inside of it, right. So they're coming up with a plan. Basically, Nightmare Nurse and John Constantine come up with a plan to become, you know, the soul of Blackmare Curse. Like, it's called a Blackmare Curse, where they become these raging animals. And nice artwork, by the way. To go after Blight. And it
doesn't work, I'm guessing.
Well, it sort of does for a while, but Angel Zarel actually betrays the team.
Oh, go
Like,
figure.
he just joined them just to betray them of just not stopping Blight. What was that?
My foot.
Oh.
Stopping Cookie.
So, yeah, things just get, like, really out of control, and Pandora and Fam Stranger work together, whereas John Constantine and Nightmare is fighting Blight, which, like you said, doesn't work out so well, because Blight is a really, really powerful source. Like, he has the power of a...
He gets stronger, if anything.
Yeah, like, he just gets stronger no matter what they do, and I think Chris actually finally snaps out of it. And let's just say we finally find out where the Justice League Dark team may be held. The team.
Mm-hmm.
And was it John Constantine? Oh yeah, and John Constantine found out, knowing where Zatanna and the others are. So Forever Evil Blight will continue in Fam Stranger.
That's
and I like this page over here where it has the Justice League Dark team, which is in DC Comics and all that. So, unlike what I saw in Constantine and Pandora, this actually improved in a great way Book of the Week. So, that's what I've been actually waiting to see for Forever Evil Blight title. Forever Evil A.R.G.U.S issue number 4 of 6.
2 more to go.
Yeah, this cover of who you see is at the end of the comic book.
Wonder Woman?
No, Cheetah. Well, Wonder Woman is mentioned in this comic book as well. But it starts off where Killer Frost with Steve Trevor and Dr. Stein, like, he's just talking about the last issue about Firestorm being in some type of matrix and everything, and they're just trying to find a way of how to get them out. So Killer Frost shows them the Syndicate coin, which he found, and they heard the Syndicate, the Crime Syndicate, could hear their plans and everything. And meanwhile, what happens? They tracked where they were and found them. Artwork is nicely drawn, by the way. So Colonel Steve Trevor thinks that Killer Frost is betrayed the team, but he just still wants her to tag along because she saved them from the Crime Syndicate. So there's just like a whole battle that still ranges on. Meanwhile, in the
Hey,
green
look, it's
room...
Barack Obama.
No, it isn't.
Looks like him.
It looks like him. Meanwhile, there's a green room conversation, and if you want to see what that's about, you can read it for yourselves. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff where Dr. Stein has like a secret laboratory, which I thought was pretty cool, along with PSI, who actually makes an appearance in this comic book. You know, the one that doesn't have a mouth to talk, but she does have a way of giving Steve Trevor some memories of stuff to actually help him with stuff and to free the Justice League. And Xanadu gave him the clue from Justice League Dark, Xanadu. And he said he's going to rescue Wonder Woman, the Justice League, and the only way to do that is to go find Cheetah. From basically what he saw. So this is going to be lots of stuff of seeing if Steve Trevor could save Justice League and what he saw in his mind. So yeah, so basically that's it. No disappointments this week. They were actually really good.
Book of the Week from the Big Two and Book of the Week from DC, absolutely. Earth 2 Annual, issue number 2. The origin of Earth 2 Batman. We all know, we all found out thanks to wonderful Twitter, or somebody's mess up, that Thomas Wayne was Batman, the current Batman. However, we don't know how. In this book, we find out how and why. Batman's on a case trying to figure out who killed the person who killed his parents. And he goes to Frankie Falcone for answers. He finds out that Falcone and Thomas Wayne, a.k.a. Batman's father, were very close friends at one time, and they actually shared, obviously remember this is an edgier time, they shared a lot together, but then something happened, and now Thomas Wayne basically wants revenge, because it's the Falcones that actually ordered the hit on the Wayne family. So some guy breaks in. This is pre what happened to the original Batman, Bruce. Bruce is still Batman in the flashbacks. He disappears, but Bruce chases after him, and he actually questions who the he kind of knows already who the person is, but he won't say anything. He follows the person back to his home, and guess what? It's not Jarvis, because at first Thomas Wayne took Jarvis Pennyworth as a name for a while, but turns out it really is Bruce's dad.
Wow,
and
really?
Bruce actually says how he deduced the whole thing, how he figured out it was his dad, because basically his father survived, and he asked one of the nurses to say, to pretend like he died, so this way he could protect Bruce by not being around. And Bruce thinks that's a bunch of crap, and that it's his fault. He had nobody there his entire life, and now all of a sudden, now that he found Thomas, he wants to, Thomas wants to be a dad. It doesn't work that way. So he walked out, but Thomas Wayne does put an end to the Falcone family once for all. This is again Earth 2 though, so that's how we get to the present day again, where Batman's like, well, at least now you know what you're getting yourselves into. And also he does make mention, there's this brief flashback page where he was there when Bruce got married, when Helena was born, with Helena and her kids. So he's been watching from a distance, but never as part of the family, because Bruce basically rejected him out of the family. And since Bruce's death, he decided to adapt the Batman costume to honor him and honor what he stood for. So that's why Thomas Wayne is Batman. I left out a bunch of other stuff though, and it ends with basically where Earth 2 issue 19 left off, where Batman's like, well, actually he says Lois is worried because he's using a strength drug, and he was addicted to it at one time, and then he got off of it, now he's back on it. She's like, that must be addictive, isn't it? He's like, maybe, I don't know, I'm 65 years old, I couldn't do this without the drug, and it doesn't matter anymore. Everyone I loved is dead, so I have no one left to disappoint. And it all leads into next week's Earth 2, and I cannot wait. I'm itching to get my hands on Earth 2. Tom Taylor has been hitting it out of the park since he started on Earth 2. Spectacular series. I highly recommend you guys check out Earth 2 Annual number 2. You get the background story on Thomas Wayne. And with that, that's it, guys.
Yep.
So, we don't do the rundown anymore, so don't forget to check out comicrelated.com as well as comicfrontline.com.
Yeah.
We are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget that this Tuesday is the last live show for Dark Avenger Inc. Starting February 11th. We are leaving Dark Avenger Inc. permanently. There will be no new videos uploaded on there anymore. And all the new stuff for our group will be uploaded on Comic Frontline. So make sure you are subscribed to Comic Frontline and you don't miss out on a single video.
Hype is building up for all of us. We are looking definitely forward to launching it. And
videos are already moving over to Comic Frontline. We're so itchy. We're actually starting to do a couple of videos.
Yeah, we kind of couldn't help ourselves. But we're really looking forward to this, guys. I mean, just please go over there and subscribe to us because believe me, we got videos you will
huge
not
things
want
coming.
and
yeah,
huge things coming as well.
We're doing a lot more than what we did on Dark Avenger Inc. We're doing a lot more than we did last year. Mike and me really should know about that because we're getting a lot of stuff. But anyway,
Yes.
thank you guys so much for sticking around. Hope you guys have a great week. Take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. And we will see you guys in the next review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.